Look, I'm not going to tell you that you can read out affirmation cards in the mirror and not lift a finger and manifest your dream body. I'm here to help you activate the woman who is sick of her own excuses and is ready to do the real work. This isn't some long spiel about how yoga can change your life. This video is the real truth about what it's actually going to take you to go from feeling completely chaotic to in command. I'll be breaking down every single step on how to go from the girl who was pulled in 1,000 different directions to a woman who is the goddamn gravitational center of her own life. Now, this may not seem yogic and some of this will sound harsh, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like, sorry, you're never going to glow up or whatever that transformation is until you do the sadhana, until you do the inner work. And you're here because you have a vision for your life that doesn't match your current reality right now. And I get it, we all have high expectations of ourselves when it comes to our health and wellness, and there's always more that we can do. But we need to get to a point where you feel like you're no longer on this wellness hamster wheel. And I'm telling you this, you don't need to be dressed in all white or wear a mala or throw around flowers in some retreat in Bali to do this. I know because I was you, and I'm telling you right now, you don't need to do all of that. So if you're ready to stop being in your soft girl era and start building the structure that will actually hold your life together, then keep watching because I'm about to share my story, your future story, and the one practice that changed everything for me. Now, if you understand the system, you're going to want to know exactly how to implement this in your day-to-day life. And I have a step-by-step roadmap for you. That's exactly what I do inside my Yoga Mastery program. And I'll walk you through how to build this unshakable foundation week by week. There's a link for that in the description below. But before that, you need to understand why everything else you've tried has left you feeling more scattered than when you started. You need a system, something that's time-tested, something that's repeatable, something that's reliable, and ultimately simple. So about 8 years ago, I used to wake up and my brain would literally feel like it had 100 tabs open. I have ADHD and I would feel so overwhelmed by even like basic tasks because of this constant low-level noise that was in the background of my mind that would prevent me from like even doing simple things. When I was 19, I did my first Vipassana retreat. And then I ended up doing 3 more. This is a 10-day silent meditation retreat. And honestly, it felt like a punishment because it was like you were forced to sit down, wake up at 4 a.m., like do nothing, no movement, no eating anything you like no phones. And in fact, like in the immediate sense, it made me feel a bit better. But overall, I think it left me much worse off than before because I needed to stop believing this mass media lie that you need to meditate. No one should have to meditate unless they're prepared for it. You should learn how to channel your mind on a single task and hone in on all that energy that you have. You can't be told to sit down and be quiet. You've got so many ideas, you've got so much to do. So why would you waste your time thinking with your eyes closed? So this was also around the same time that I did my first teacher training and I was on my gap year and loving life and just exploring different styles. I was doing vinyasa, rocket yoga, like all different things in different parts of the world. And I would do a trial class using this ClassPass membership and I would go to different places, and every class I just remember I would be so focused on trying to remember the sequence so that I could like replicate it and say the same thing to my students. I wish I could go back to my younger self and just shake her and be like, you're just copying the movements. There's no depth, there's no real understanding. It's just another box for you to check. And tomorrow you'll need another fix. You'll want to go jump on a trampoline or try Pilates in a hot room or do something else just to have an experience of movement in like this cool new way. And I think like it was only after like doing my teacher training and understanding the importance of simple Hatha Yoga practice, I realized I need to focus on my own practice. That's the one thing that would make me a better teacher. Because I'm ultimately just teaching from my own experience, right? When you're guiding someone in a class, you're literally just describing what you went through in an asana and then you're kind of saying it out loud, so maybe they find the same like discoveries as you had. But if you're spending all your time thinking about the order of the shapes or like who's teaching the class or like all these other things, you're missing the real point, which is that each asana has a specific and distinct effect. So around this time, I would be doing like gentle, feel-good flows and only do poses that came naturally to me that were already easy for me. But then I realized I seriously need to get out of this soft girl era and get physically stronger. Because I was born naturally flexible, I'm not here to tell you that I went from not being able to touch my toes to getting full splits. The journey for me was very much balancing that natural flexibility with this innate strength, the strength that I could hold in the asana. So because I had this advantage of flexibility, I really needed to work on my strength. And at that time, I was doing hatha yoga, and the style in which I was trained in wasn't really giving me that natural sense of strength through, body weight exercises, so to speak. So I joined a gym. It was an amazing gym. I squatted well over twice my body weight. I was pushing things, pulling things, weighted lunges, deadlifts, you name it, I did it. And I was impressed with myself because this was a project that I'd taken on, and my body was this project that I needed to perfect and something that I needed to manage. I was obsessed with eating more protein and less carbs and trying to track all my macros and all this stuff. And it got to a point where at one point I was so exhausted. I was lying on the floor of a gym and I was like, this just doesn't feel good, why am I torturing myself? What am I training for? It's not like, I'm going to do an Ironman or something like that. I just want to be healthy. I just want to live a little longer. I want to have energy to do the other things. Why am I flipping tires and putting myself through self-punishment almost? For what? So I realized then that that wasn't really what I could do sustainably at that level for my whole life. And I also recognized that, yoga is one of those things that can integrate strength and flexibility. But I heard all these things about how it doesn't help improve joint strength. As you grow older, it doesn't do much for bone health because it doesn't have progressive loading and all of this stuff. But I just realized I don't want to punish myself anymore because I was really torturing myself at this point, and I was trying to control everything. And if you're listening to this, I don't recommend that you quit the gym immediately. It's entirely based on your goals and where you are in life. But what I'm saying is that you don't need an expensive gym membership, because when you have an expensive gym membership, you just walk into a gym and you actually don't know what to do with most of the equipment out there. So what you really need is something that gets you stronger and flexible at the same time. So it was sometime in 2018 when I discovered Ashtanga yoga. I was totally shocked by how challenging this sequence was. I did a video by David Garrig on In Yoga International, and I was like, wow, this is really challenging. And I was interning for a company. I was working in Mumbai, and Sharat Joyce, who is the lineage holder of the Ashtanga tradition, was doing a book tour, and we were interviewing him. So I was just the intern with this little notebook and pen, and he did a class with this huge group of people. There was 400 people, and I had a chance to quickly sneak in and do the practice. So I did the full primary series right off the bat. No slow, progressive, nothing. It was just straight in the deep end. And I remember for a few days afterwards, I actually couldn't walk. And I realized not only was it a shock for my system, but for the first time, I felt after a yoga practice, I was calm because all that energy that I have had actually been channelized. It was actually utilized, and I felt regulated by the end of the practice. You want to be seen as reliable? Be reliable first for yourself. Show up on your mat. By showing up on your mat, you're actually proving to yourself that you're the kind of person that keeps their word. That self-trust that you build is more powerful than any pretty looking affirmation card that you're going to take out and read in the morning. Why? Because it's a physical embodied thing. It's you're using the asanas to shift the way that you feel. I have women in my program who are mothers of young kids who have no time, who wake up early in the morning at 5:30 a.m. to make it to a class just before work, and they attend the connecting cure calls. Even if they're driving, they switch off their video and they're somehow there just to be present, just to work on their health and wellness. And these are the kinds of people that are actually making transformations. So I tell you this with as much kindness as possible. You need to get out of your soft girl era and start building that masculine structure for yourself. And Ashtanga offers just that, so that your creative feminine energy can flow through that structure. When your nervous system is ready, let me tell you this, each morning you look at your to-do list and you're like, I can do this, let's go. You're not going to get blown over by the first person that makes a comment on your hair, or you have one bad day and everything goes off. Why? Because you have a routine. You have something that you can repeatedly do for 60 minutes in the morning that will make you feel better, that will make you feel your emotions and move through your emotions. So it's a small sacrifice, but you have to do it. And right after this experience, I finished my internship and I was traveling some more, and I went to Laos PDR, which is like this small Southeast Asian country. There were no gyms in this small town, and I only obviously brought my yoga mat with me, and there weren't like any big studios or anything, so I couldn't attend the classes either. So I just tried. I used a chart and I tried to practice on my own, and it was difficult at first because I was constantly trying to make variations or like trying to like sneak in some creative stuff. But slowly I realized this is what it is. It's a practice that can travel with you anywhere. And I cut out the noise, I committed to that one thing, that one system, and I made it like a non-negotiable habit. And every single morning I would wake up and roll out my mat and practice at the same time. And it became like this non-negotiable thing that I did every single day. Not just when I felt like it, but even when I didn't feel like it. And through that fire, through that tapas of doing the same thing every single day, something inside me actually shifted. I wasn't chasing anymore. I wasn't like this ADHD girl that was trying to do everything and like all at once. I just did the half primary sequence every single day, and it trained my mind to focus on one thing. It was this constant single thing that I had in my life that prevented me from seeking more novelty, from doing more free trials, from subscribing to more memberships. And I canceled all my memberships. That craving for novelty disappeared, and I was back here waiting for a teacher to show me like how I can progress through this sequence. And at this point, I was also doing a degree. I was studying philosophy, and I was able to use this practice as a way to sit down and study for 2 to 4 hours to work towards my degree. And it was really, really challenging, especially as someone who struggled in school and in university because I was studying on my own, and it was really difficult. I was also teaching yoga on the side. It was almost like a miracle that I was able to focus, finish my degree, and graduate with honors. And I'm not saying this story just to show off. I'm trying to say that yoga's benefits like bleed into the rest of your life in ways that we can't even imagine. And Ashtanga is one of those things that is just like that steady structure that you need in your life so that every other part of your life becomes easier. And even though I was teaching other styles, I was trying to do different things, I still came back to my practice as the one single thing that was constant in my life at that time. Now, before you click away and look at the next video, I just want to tell you, I didn't get here by accident, and you won't either. I had to walk through the fire of this disciplined, demanding, transformative practice, like actually do the tapas. I've had bruised elbows, I've had like pain in my toe from trying to jump back from a forearm stand. I've gone through a lot just to reach this point in my practice where it feels like it's an easy part of my life. And I've done all these advanced asanas, and I can tell you this with full confidence. There's nothing in the advanced asanas that you won't find in the basics. But some of us just need to have both our legs like whacked behind our head to realize that you need to learn how to breathe through a difficult shape, no matter what that shape is for you. So I'm here building this tiny YouTube channel, almost speaking into the void so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. But just know I don't have all the answers. I still have a teacher. I still consider myself a lifelong student. But I'm here to be the person who holds the map and walks this path with you. I'll show you how to stop looking outside for answers and start building that damn temple within yourself, girl. I'll teach you the system that makes you go from chaotic and scattered to like building a life that is solid. And this hard girl era isn't about being harsh. It's about being so solid in yourself that you're no longer fragile. If you're done with being in this like wellness hamster wheel of trying different things and you're ready to do the real abhyasa, the real work, then this is your invitation. Join the Yoga Mastery program. The link is in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.